Pixel, you certainly are a silly cat. What you doing up there? You're not supposed to be up there. Why did you pick that shelf, by the way? That shelf. Of all the shelves you could have picked, that's the one you should. Oh, you're gone. She jumped down. Hey Dragonlings, it is Monday, which means it is time for another weekly vlog, and I haven't started writing yet today. I plan on writing 1,500 words on modernism and magic. I plan on digging through my drawers looking for those notes that I have written already for Damned and Deadly, which is the third book in the Damned and Dangerous quartets. And I have planned to walk 2,000 steps today. Last week I consistently walked 2,000 steps, even like on my days off when I was like not writing but gaming and watching movies with the kids. I walked 2,000 steps. So if I can do the same thing this week and consistently walk 2,000 steps per day, then next week I'm hoping to increase that to 3,000 steps, because I do want to try to push myself. It's very obvious I can't do 10,000 steps per day yet. But I would like to build up to that, and I think that's where my mistake was assuming automatically that I could walk 10,000 steps per day from the get-go instead of building myself up to that. So that's the plan. 2,000 steps this week, and then starting next week, hopefully 3,000 steps. We'll see. I say that a lot, I'm noticing. So yeah, I'm going to go do some writing, and I'm going to I'm going to start working on the third story for A Modernism of Magic, which is A Hair of Wisdom. And yeah, that's my plan for today. And if I finish with all of that and I'm still in a mood to do writing stuff, I will go back to editing A Shot of Charisma, which is the first story. I've mentioned in previous vlog clips that I'm not really 100% happy with it. Reading back through it, I am actually a lot happier than I thought I was. Did it flow the same way writing-wise that the second story did? No, I fought with it, and I started it, and I stopped it, and I started it, and I stopped it, and I fought with it so much. But reading back through it, it's not nearly as bad as I seem to think it is. So that's a plus. The other thing I'm doing with that is that I am noticing a discrepancy in my word counts. Scrivener keeps track of my word counts. I can show you that actually. Okay, so we're looking at my Scrivener document now. A Shot of Charisma I finished. Trace of Perception I finished. A Hair of Wisdom is the one I'm working on now. But this is what I wanted to show you. If we go to Project, Writing History, it shows you all the writing you've done. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, that's as much as I want to zoom in so I can still show you everything. It says I've only written 7 days, which if I count back through my file, my Heroes Journal, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7. 7's right. So that's actually right. In draft, these are the average words per day. So 2,297 words in the draft. Elsewhere is about 793. Total is 3,090 words per day. Okay, so this shows you all of my word counts for July. The draft itself is 16,082 words. Other is 5,548. And other is the stuff that falls into a different folder called the research folder. I'll open this back up in just a second. So other is the stuff that falls into this research folder. Dragon for Sale and Succubus are story ideas that I pulled that I think would work in this world, but I have to either find a way for them to kind of coincide with this story idea or rewrite them. Dragon for Sale is just under the word count, but not separated into chapters because it was a short story. And Succubus is one I'm actually not really happy with, but it was an idea and I wrote it and it worked. So, yeah. And then, of course, I've got my races. And I moved the Cataclysm in here because while I think that's interesting, it doesn't really pertain to anything that's in the stories themselves. So I figured it was better to just get rid of it. All right, so going back to project and then writing history and looking at this again, this is where the discrepancy comes in. Like, it's got my writing totals for the days I have written. But the thing is that I've done so much deleting words, getting rid of chapters, and stuff like that, that what I've been writing in my version of the Heroes Journal, as far as my notes go for what I've written, what I've drafted, what I've deleted, is not matching up with this. And it bothers me in ways I cannot explain. Like, some of the days are accurate. The 15th, 2,711 words. In my notes for the day, when you add up those word counts, they equal 2,711 words. So that one's accurate. But like this one, a lot of this is I deleted some words. I deleted an entire chapter. And when you read over my notes, I included the fact that I deleted 849 words from the chapter. And I've got all these writing sprints and stuff like that I had to actually go over. And when you total them up, it's 8,460 words with those 849 words deleted. But this is calculating the 9,309 words with that 849 words I deleted. So it's doing weird things with the word count where it's not deleting, it's not counting when I delete words, even though it's supposed to, because I have it set to. Now, with my project targets, let's see if I can get this to work. Got to raise this up a little bit again. Okay. So with my project targets, when you go to options, deadline, session target, allow negatives. So it's supposed to be calculating the negatives, but I'm wondering if that's just for the target, and for like the writing history, it doesn't do that. And that would explain my discrepancy, why it says 9,309 words for that day when I only wrote 8,460 technically, because I deleted 849 words. So that's interesting, I'm noting. And I'm having to like ignore what this says because it's not accurate in my opinion if it's going to count deleted words. But I've got to play around with it some more and experiment, because it might just be that it's doing that because I screwed up how to delete words. I don't know. Scrivener's weird and in sometimes, so I've got to play around with it. So yeah, I've got to play around with Scrivener some, because that's bothering me, and I don't know why it's doing it. I don't know if it's because, like, I have a thing where I don't actually delete words. Like, you can choose in the info portion of Scrivener, you can choose whether to include something in compile, and that will make it part of the final draft, basically. And what I tend to do when I delete words is I uncheck that include in compile box, and then I move it down to the research section, because even though I'm technically deleting the words, I might use those words somewhere else. And maybe that's where I'm going wrong. Maybe I just needed to actually delete the words, or at least make it think I've deleted the words by doing cut and paste. And maybe that's what I have to do. I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with Scrivener some more, or watch some more tutorials to figure out, because that word count not matching up with what I write down bothers me so much. But the only days so far that don't have any discrepancies as far as like where they match this with Scrivener are the days where I didn't delete any words. So I'm going to have to figure that out. It's the end of the evening, and I actually succeeded at doing something for Damned and Deadly for once. So I found my notes that are from book 2, 3, and 4. So I had forgotten I wrote them on the back of exercise notes for they're for exercises from my chiropractor. And I forgot that they were what was with me that one time I went to court with a friend of mine. And while I was sitting and waiting for her to come out, I was writing notes for the story. So I found them. Very happy about that. I will eventually, tomorrow's goal, now that I found them, it took me, I knew generally where they were. It's just that it's a drawer full of paperwork that still needs to be, filed and put away where it properly goes. And I haven't done that yet. So there's still a huge desk drawer, filing cabinet drawer full of paperwork that needs to be filed and put away properly. So that's a thing. I also found paperwork that goes to my dentist, actually, for everyone else in my family to get seen. Now that I've been seen and I have a bill to pay. I'll pay it eventually. They allow payments, so I'm slowly getting there. So the only other thing I have to do now, I wrote 1,500 words today, thinking that's what I had to do for a Modernism Magic, except for I crossed that out and wrote down edit story 1. So I finished my 1,500 words and went to mark it in here as complete for the day, and then realized that I had already marked it out and put edit story 1. So I started doing that instead. And I got through chapter 1 is done. And then I read chapter 2 and 3 and thought that those could be combined to shorten them up and clean them up a little bit, because there's a lot of not necessarily repeated scenes, but they're very similar, and I can drop half the information and it still makes sense. So I'm going to find a way to combine those two. I read through chapter 4 thinking I was going to have to change that up when I combine 2 and 3, and I still might, but I did finish chapter 5. So I have to combine chapters 2 and 3 still, some way, somehow. They're both semi-shortish. Like, they didn't hit the 1,500 mark. So if I cut out the stuff that almost repeats itself with different people, there's explanations between 2 different groups. If I cut out that duplicate information, I can actually probably make it one chapter that's about 1,500 words long, maybe a little longer. So that actually works out well. And then chapter 2 and 3 will become 2. Chapter 4 will become 3, 5 will become 4, and then chapter 6 I still have to do. But I read through 6 yesterday, because I read through the whole thing yesterday without really editing. Not yesterday. Friday, without editing it. And I think I'm almost there. I'm almost done with the first story. And it's almost working. So once I edit that, I will be done for the day. I've still got about 3 hours left. It's only a little after 9 now. So I'm going to go ahead and set my timer and do some editing and see if I can combine chapters 2 and 3. And we'll see how far I get tonight before I call it quits for the day. But I'm just happy because I finally got some work done on DDQ3 by finding these notes. So, yep. Tomorrow I'll be transferring that information into the computer. So I made a discovery about the numbers and the way it counts. Today, as I was editing, I finished editing the first story, by the way. But today, as I was editing the story, I was cutting the words and pasting them into a document in the research section in case I wanted to use them again instead of just straight up deleting them. Now, for some of the editing where I was just rewording a sentence, I deleted those words. But I'm talking about in the case where, like, I was deleting whole paragraphs at a time that I thought maybe I'd use later. That's the kind of stuff I was moving into a document in my research section. I've got it labeled story 1 deleted words, and then I have story 3 deleted words already because I was having trouble with it when I was writing earlier today. But my point is that my numbers actually match up, and I think where I went wrong was anytime I just trashed a chapter that was still in compile, because even though those words left, it didn't actually count them as deleted. I'm not quite certain how that works. I don't necessarily agree with that, but just checking out and trying that where I move a file to trash instead of deleting the words first from the file I think that's where my discrepancy is with Scrivener and the word counts, because it really was bothering me that my word counts weren't matching up with what I was writing in versus what I was doing. So, note to self, delete the words before trashing files. And I've done plenty of times where I've just didn't like what was going on. And since Scrivener allows you to create new documents and continue going, that's what I did. I would delete the document I was working on, move it to trash, and continue on with a brand new document, basically. And I think that's where I screwed up. So I'm going to do that with every story now, is I'm going to create a file in my research section for any deleted words, and anything I'm not just straight up like deleting and retyping, I will cut and paste into its story deleted words instead, so that I can keep my numbers straight. And I think that will help me in the long run. If nothing else, it'll keep my brain happy, because when I look at those numbers and they don't match up, it bothers me. It bothers me a lot. So, going forward, that's what I'm going to do. But it is the end of the night. It is dark. I have not, according to my watch, I have not gotten 2,000 steps yet. But I've also done a little bit of walking back and forth through my house, and it still has the same number it did before I did that walking back and forth. I had to use the bathroom, so the master bathroom is on the opposite end of the house of where I'm at. But with it being at the same steps, it is also dying. I need to charge it. It'll probably die halfway through the night if I don't charge it now. But I wonder if that has something to do with it too, because it's not registering any new steps, and I think it's because it's about to die. But I'm going to go ahead and mark that I've walked 2,000 steps, because I'm only like 100 steps short, and I have done quite a bit of walking from one end of the house to the other since I last checked my watch, and it's still sitting at the same number of steps it was prior. So that's something to be slightly concerned about, because it makes me wonder how many times I've done walking where it didn't register my walking. It might also be how I wear it on my wrist, because yeah, I keep it loose because I actually don't like things on my wrist. It bothers me that it's there. I'm just annoyed by everything today. So yeah, that's where I'm going with this, obviously. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been having like a book in the background. Right now I've got Kiki's Delivery Service, because that's the next one I want to read after I finish the library book I've got, Black Cauldron. I finished book of 3 the other day, and I'm getting ready to start reading this one, and then I'll read Kiki's Delivery Service, because they don't have the rest of the series at the library. But I originally got those for the girls, and then I started reading them myself. Yeah, that's a thing. So I'm rambling now, so I'm going to let you guys go, and I will see you guys tomorrow for more writing, because this is a writing vlog. Yay. Last quick note. Small victories. Today's the first day where I've actually filled in and completed all 3 tasks for the day. That makes me excited. Also, look at those stickers. I love them so much. The gray is the drafting, and the red is the editing. Once I have my brown stickers, I'll be able to have some more colors in here, because there's a couple places where I need some different stickers. I got a green one for plotting. I did not mark today where I spent like 5 minutes looking up names for my characters. Maybe I should add that. That's part of plotting. I'm going to add that real quick. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey, Dragonlings. It is Tuesday, and I have a lot to do today. According to what I wrote down in my notes in my Heroes Journal, I have to do 2,000 steps, 1,500 words in Modernism of Magic, and I have to transfer my handwritten notes to my computer for Damned and Dangerous 3. So there's that. I also need to edit my vlog from last week, because I haven't done that yet. I've transferred the files over to McGee, but I haven't started on it yet. And then I also, I need to do a thumbnail picture, because I haven't done that yet. I need to start doing that like on day 1 or 2 of vlogging. Oops. All right. I also need to do that, and I have to, there was something else I needed to do. I can't remember what it was. There was something else I needed to do that also involves computer-related things. but I can't remember what it was. So I have a busy day ahead of me, and I'm going to go ahead and just get started because I have a lot to do. We'll see what all I have to get accomplished by the end of the day. I need to make a to-do list because that seems to help me a lot. I miss doing to-do lists in my bullet journal. I'm behind in my bullet journal. Like, I've been writing notes of what we've done every day, but like I've been writing notes on like paper instead of, putting it here because I was behind, and I like to put everything on paper first when I'm behind so that I can make sure I have everything done. But as you can see how far behind I am, the last time I wrote in here was July 1st. So I've been keeping up with what I read and what I watch movie-wise, and it's about equal to each other. I have 2 more movies than I have books, but I'm currently reading a couple books. So, all those books I didn't finish in June. I started like 4 books in June and didn't finish any of them. I've now finished 2 of them, but I've got 2 others I need to finish. And I still have to read the Writer's Workshop book for this month. I try to read the Writer's Workshop books, even if I can't make it to live streams. And with our internet as spotty as it is, signal-wise just from our phones, and with the fact that we've got a hotspot that really doesn't like it when we stream, I can't make it to live streams right now unless I go down to the library. So, yeah. And until we have a second vehicle, there's no way I can go to the library every day because I just can't. I can't justify dropping my husband off at work, coming home, picking up the girls after they've done chores, going back into town when the library is open, staying there and getting stuff done until Justin gets off work, and then coming back home and doing other things, and possibly going back to the library because they've got a split schedule where they're open, like, depending on the day, they're open from like 1 to 5, and then they're open 7 to 9, and they've got other, it's weird. Small towns, they're closed for like an hour or 2 with a split for like dinner basically, and then they're open again for a couple more hours. There was something else I need. Oh, social media schedule. I am tired of not like posting to social media on a regular basis. And I was really good about doing social media, and I've gotten off that bandwagon, and I will be doing a video about how like I plan social media because I do kind of want to talk about that, but I need to sit down and actually do that. Yeah. What reminded me is I have a picture I was going to post to social media. So a graphic that was made a long time ago for an anthology I'm in. And I need to schedule that and schedule a couple more other anthologies. I also need to figure out what I'm writing for my newsletter because my newsletter was supposed to be posted on the 15th because I try to send my newsletter. I try to send my newsletter out every week on the 15th, and I haven't this time. So I need to do that. I have a lot of work to do. I need to go ahead and make my to-do list and start getting some things done. So I'll see you guys soon. All right, the day is done. It is another day. That was weird. It is another day where I have completed all my tasks for the day. I did it. I need to write a couple more notes down. The other thing I noticed is that I've written in this journal for 10 days because every 10 days there's a reflection, which I filled out. And now tomorrow I'll start on the next section. So, yeah. I'm getting ready to go to bed. My handwritten notes for story 3 are in here, but I do notice that I have some notes for story 4. And I think probably what I'm going to do at some point is input them as well. And then some of my other notes are from my original drafts of these stories, because for the Damned and Dangerous Quartet, all 4 were written before I sent it out, the first book off to beta readers, and like, this doesn't work. So I took a lot of notes from those 4 stories, and especially from 2, 3, and 4, which are all on this. The main plot points of 2, 3, and 4 are on here. So I'm probably going to copy down the notes for book 4 into my notes as well, just so I don't lose these again. And I've got them in one location. And so that I don't use plot points that were meant for book 4 in book 3. Because reading over my notes, there's distinct plot points that are supposed to happen in book 3 verses 4, and I don't want to mix them up in order for the story to make sense. So, oh, sorry. It's like probably 12 since my watch is wrong. My watch is like 10 minutes off. It's been slowly getting behind, more and more behind. So, yeah. I'm going to go to bed. I don't know how much is going to get done tomorrow, and that's what I wanted to mention. Because my husband's off, and we've got to pick up a few things for, like, repairing things around the house, like minor repair work. But they require going to a Home Depot. And the Home Depot is in Great Falls, which is about an hour and a half from here. So, we're making a Great Falls trip tomorrow. And we gotta pick up a vacuum that works better than the itty bitty baby vacuum we've got, because it's just not doing the job. Even vacuuming every day, it's not doing the job of cleaning up everything. The dogs are constantly bringing in stickers from outside. So, we need a better vacuum too. So yeah, since we're going into Great Falls tomorrow, I don't know how much is going to get done. I wrote down my usual stuff. Tomorrow I need to exercise, which I know will happen. Write 1,500 words in AMOM, which is a modernism magic, and read chapters 1 through 3 of current draft for Damned and Dangerous Quartet 3. Earlier this year I had started drafting it already, and I have about 1.5 chapters done. I wrote 1 through 3 because there's 3 documents, but there's only like 1.5 chapters. Oh my goodness. Whenever there was a scene break, I made a new document in Scrivener. That's what happened. So yeah. I don't know how much of that's going to get done. I also still have to edit my video, because while I wanted to do that today, I just never did it. And I also, I also need to send out my newsletter. I wrote that today. I didn't mark that in here. Crap. And I didn't time it either. I probably spent about an hour on it. Not even. 30 minutes? I need to add it in here as not miscellaneous work. It's admin work. I have a sticker for that. I should have timed it. Fuck. Mistakes were made. I'm learning. I'm finally starting to get the hang of this, though, and the tracking stuff. I'm mainly tracking things so that I can see how long it takes me to do various things. Yeah, I don't really have a plan other than that. Like, I want to know exactly how many sprints it takes me to complete a first draft, how many sprints it takes me to complete editing, outlining, how long I spend formatting it, how long I spend putting the information into Amazon, and when I start going wide in other places, that's going to be a learning curve. Oh my God. Not looking forward to that, just so you know. It's part of the reason I stayed exclusive with Amazon at first, just so I didn't have to worry about that crap yet. Soon. It's coming soon, because Ingram Spark's going to be the beginning with all my paperbacks. Yay. Hey Dragonlings, I am editing last week's vlog, and I realized I did not film an ending to it. So, a quick recap. I did not do any writing on Wednesday. My husband had off, and so what we did instead is we needed to pick up a couple things from a hardware store that's located in Great Falls in order to fix up some electrical work in one of the outdoor rooms. We also had to pick up a pet vacuum, because we've been using like a little spot vacuum that's meant for small messes in that house, because ours didn't make the trip. It was busted. But my point is that we needed to pick up a vacuum. We needed to pick up some parts to fix electrical. We needed to pick up a couple of other pest control things we got ants really bad. So we made a Great Falls trip, and we picked up a bunch of stuff. Great Falls is about an hour and a half away from our house, and that's a long trip. it's an exhausting trip. And by the time we got back, even though it was still early on in the day, I didn't feel like writing. So I didn't. And then Thursday, I had a bunch of errands to run. Again, Justin had off. He started doing our kitchen flooring. I will actually input a picture because I'm really proud of the work he's done so far in it. And it looks really good so far. He's not done with it yet, but we're getting there. He'll probably finish it on his next day off. But while he was doing that, I was making water runs to pick up water for us. I edited, uploaded, and did everything with my last week's vlog, or the week before's vlog, I should say. And I also sent out my newsletter. If you're not signed up for that and you're wanting to learn more interesting information about when I actually release books and all that fun jazz, link is in the description. You don't have to, but if you do, hey. Anyway, so no writing on Thursday. The other thing was that while I was out and about doing errands and stuff, I got some news that the publishing company I've been working for is closing its doors, which makes me really sad. But it also got me thinking about a lot of things. So I don't want to go into it too much because I will be talking about it this week on this week's vlog. But Friday, I did a lot of planning and budgeting and stuff like that. So again, no writing. Again, I didn't feel like writing anyways, so I just did other things that could occupy my mind that were needed to get done anyways, so I wouldn't have to worry about writing. I did things I was going to do anyway. It's just that they weren't going to be done yesterday, that Friday, I mean. But yeah, so no writing Wednesday, no writing Friday, no writing Thursday. I'm not certain why I said that out of order. So I've got a lot of things I need to get caught up on this week, but I'm not going to be playing catch up because I said I wasn't going to do that. But I am hoping that I can finish the third story this week. My goal is to finish the third story this week and start on the fourth story next week. I think I have two, thanks to writing last week, I think I have 2 chapters done in the third story. We'll see how far I get. And again, I'm still saying that, which I say a lot. Sorry. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week in next week's vlog. Bye, Dragonlings.